Hey, everybody, it's another Playful Humans podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and you can find interesting ways to rediscover the power of play at playfulhumans.com. Join the community, take the quiz, get your BuzzFeed style personality right there at playfulhumans.com/quiz. But my guest this week is Victoria Gallagher. She's a law of attraction hypnotist, an author, and a YouTuber, all kinds of cool stuff. Also an entrepreneur with the HypnoCloud app that you can check out and get some free powerful hypnosis sessions at hypnocloudapps.com. Also, her website is victoriamgallagher.com. Here we go. All right, we're almost there, Victoria. Okay, we like to start with the joke of the week. The joke of the week is brought to you by holding hands at the movies. I'm a big fan of holding hands at the movies, but it always seems to startle strangers. Holding hands. Okay. Did you hear about the crook who stole a calendar?
I did not. You're asking me?
Yeah. He got 12 months.
Geez.
Yes, I still don't have the drum roll. It's been a year and like 75 episodes, and I still haven't figured that part out. But thank you for adding it in there for me. Victoria, I'll start with an easy one for you here. Tell us about how you play for a living and how you got to be a law of attraction hypnotist.
Well, I consider what I do play because, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a singer, wanted to be a rock star. And, and I was going to inspire the world, and I was going to be on stage, and I was going to write all these powerful melodies and songs and, perform. And guess what? Even though I'm not a singer, I guess I kind of am a singer, but I'm a hypnotist, and I get to write all these amazing hypnosis sessions throughout the day, and I get to perform, and I get to inspire people, and and to me, it's fun, and it feels good, and it lights me up, and so it's. To me, it's very playful, getting to do something that is very, very close, very similar to what you dreamed of being when you were a child. I am kind of a rock star in my world.
You are, for sure. And I can completely relate to that. I think it's a great lesson for people here on this podcast is that it might not be exactly what you dreamed about when you were 5, but guess what? You were 5. You had dumb dreams then too. You wanted to be a unicorn and an astronaut or whatever. So I think that's okay. Cause for me, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian or a DJ on the radio. And I was lucky I got to do that. I got my own show on the radio, but that job is not as cool as I thought it was going to be when I was 12, And so now I still get to be on a microphone. I produce my own show. I have a bigger audience than I would on some radio stations. And I get to have fun doing what I enjoy. That's, again, very similar. I get to get up on stages. I get to pretend and tell jokes and things that I don't write myself. And I've combined a career that's a lot more fun and enjoyable than the ones that I had set out to when I was a kid, but I found my own niche here. So my first question back to you is, did you figure this out right away, or did you have like a quote real job and like go the corporate-y path and the life path that everybody thinks we're supposed to follow and chase the American dream first? Or did you get straight into this alternative career?
So, and by the way, I've upgraded my mic from the toilet paper roll, that I used to use when I was a kid. But yeah, along the way, I did fall into the whole corporate arena. I started off in, as like a sales assistant. And when I was a sales assistant, I was working for some stock brokerage firms. And my very first kind of leap of faith was deciding that I wanted to go ahead and be my own stockbroker. So I I became a stockbroker. I became very successful at it, relatively speaking. And for about 6 years, I really, really enjoyed that. And then there came a time when I just sort of everything kind of seemed like I just kind of started feeling like out of sorts and like this just wasn't really the life for me. And that I was sort of walking around like I was sort of walking around like blindly, just following one step after another and not really putting thought into what it was that I wanted to do. And so I started signing up for a lot of like personal development seminars and reading a lot of books and on self-help. I've always been a little bit of the self-help junkie. And when I was sitting in the seminar, I kind of just realized, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to give people the same feeling that I have while I'm sitting in this chair. And so at the time, I didn't know exactly what that looked like. I started trying to haul all my friends into these seats of the personal development seminars, and nobody really had much of an interest in that. And so I said, well, like I couldn't convince people how great this was. So I thought, you know what, if I can't get them here, I'm going to bring the seminar to them. And that's when I got the idea that I would just make these little tapes. And at the time there were tapes. And because the most transformational part of doing these seminars was the closed eye techniques. And so I sort of began a search for like, well, how am I going to make my own closed eye techniques? And is it visualization? Is it meditation? What is it? And I stumbled upon hypnotherapy as, there was a certification training. I said, you know what, this is how I can get myself the credentials and to really feel trained and really feel like I know what I'm doing. Like I knew essentially what the tapes would say, just wanted to make sure that I was saying it in a proper way that would actually be transformative. So in 1999, I became certified as a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist and NLP certified and all of those things on, and started my own website and decided I was going to have one of the largest libraries of hypnosis on the planet. And I'm pretty close to that today. That goal kind of changed once I realized that bigger is not necessarily better. One day I kind of realized that trying to be all things to all people, it just kind of created a little bit more chaos and confusion on my website. So I one day kind of decided, you know what, I really love law of attraction and I really love helping people to manifest, and I really love business people like me, and helping people who had at some point maybe they need to make that transition between their job, their day job, and becoming their own working for themselves. And so I kind of decided that that's going to be my specialty. Instead of trying to have the largest library, it would be the most focused on manifesting law of attraction and personal development for entrepreneurs.
So you bring up a very interesting point for me, which has always been a weird contention. I don't know if I just don't get it or I don't see the differences, but I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction, meditation, visualization, goal setting, even prayer. But to me, they're kind of all the same thing. So I love that you've combined hypnotist and law of attraction here, because my dad introduced me to hypnosis when I was a kid. I used to do some tapes, also cassette tapes for baseball hitting when I was in elementary school. And he quit smoking with hypnotist tapes around that time too, in the 80s. And there was another one too that I listened to, and I can't think of what it is right now, but I really found the baseball one to be magical for me, that I would go to sleep visualizing the pitch and the other pitcher and the team. And the more I knew about them, the even better. But I was hitting the first pitch like 90% of the time because I could see the seams on the ball coming. I knew exactly where it was going to be, and I could crush it. And I just thought like, oh, well, this is cool. This is rehearsal. This is practice. This is, visualizing what I want to happen before I get into the situation. So I have a plan. So that was my long way of explaining my question, which is, what's the difference between those things like hypnosis, meditation, visualization? Are they all basically techniques to get to the same place, or strategically different things? How would you describe that?
It's a really great question, because you really do bring up a good point. And I would say where they all meet is, it's all about changing the subconscious mind. Everything really leads to, there's not just like when you go into meditation, you're not accessing one part of your brain. And when you go into hypnosis, you're accessing another part of your brain. And when you're in visualization, you're accessing another part of your brain. It's all essentially the same. They're all just different kind of methods or different ways of explaining that you have to access the subconscious mind. Law of attraction is based more on the premise that, like attracts like, and, so it's, law of attraction in and of itself, it can be made better by using tools like hypnosis, like meditation, like visualization, like affirmations. So those are all ways to really make that law of attraction work better. Because the thing is, and when I say work better, it's always working as well as it can. It's just simply that it's either working for you or it's working against you. Because if your thinking is, negative, and when I say if your thinking is negative, I'm talking about not just consciously, but below the surface. And that's what a lot of people struggle with when it comes to the law of attraction and making it work, is most people are not penetrating through to the subconscious mind to change anything in there. And so they've got this part of their mind, the 90% of their mind, the subconscious mind, that believes that, it's hard to make money. Money's the root of all evils. You're never going to succeed. You've got all these programs that you grew up hearing from, and whether they were saying them to you or they were saying them to other people around you, you picked up all of that language before you even had an opportunity to filter it out, because you didn't have any filter system until you were like 6 or 7 years old. But pretty much before that, everything you ever heard just went in like a sponge. So all of those negative programmings are like no contender for the subconscious. I mean, the subconscious mind is no contender for, I keep saying that the wrong way. The conscious mind is no contender for the subconscious mind. So when people are trying to make the law of attraction work, and they're just, randomly just saying these affirmations, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, it doesn't really go in to the subconscious mind, because you need to be in a hypnotic state in order for those things to actually go in, and it just gets rejected. So hypnosis, meditation, I consider the hypnosis different from meditation in that, hypnosis is about reprogramming the subconscious mind. That is the whole purpose. It's really directly speaking. Meditation, there's so many different styles and types of meditation. There's guided meditation, there's silent meditation, there's mindfulness. And, you could be just listening and pulling information that's coming from the subconscious mind, or you could be doing more like a guided meditation, which in and of itself is really self-hypnosis. And, so there's like, these are all labels. They really are, and I mean, there are technical definitions for all of these things, but, there's so much today. I mean, so many people I mean,
Right.
you look on YouTube and there's like so many meditations and they have these 8-hour sleep meditations, and which I don't even necessarily buy into. I think it's fine to listen to something while you're asleep, maybe just to kind of keep the brain asleep. But all these subliminal things and all these like reprogram yourself while you're sleeping. I just kind of think that's just another way of us, making money and selling things.
Well, people
And
sleep.
yeah, I think it's fine to go to sleep with the last thing on your
Intention.
mind.
Yeah.
Yes, that's useful. So if you want to fall asleep to these things, just know that you're getting the benefit for like the 5 or 10 minutes before you fall asleep. The rest of the time is really just, you might, if you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom,
Re-trigger or something.
Yeah, you hear oh yeah, I'm listening to this.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I think that makes a ton of sense for me. Now, I wanted to ask you more of a philosophical question about this too. So I'm on board. I love law of attraction, like I mentioned. I think that people recognize this now in your search engines like Google or Facebook or YouTube, that if you put in puppies and cute babies, you'll get puppies and cute babies coming back to you, right? And what I think people don't realize is life is like that. Your brain filters out things you don't want to see, and it shows you things you do want to see. So if you're thinking about cute puppies and babies, you're going to see cute puppies and babies. If you're thinking about global pandemics and politics and wars, you're gonna have plenty to see looking for that too, right? So all of that makes sense to me. What I think I like more about that than traditional hypnosis or meditation really is I feel like people use meditation to get to center. And so my problem, especially as a playful human, is that like I want to experience like joy and bliss, and I want to be firing on all cylinders. I don't want to be this like flatlined, monotone, like monk on a mountain, like just sitting there. Like I need to be engaged in my life. So how do you balance those sort of things between being centered, but also being engaged and like attracting and going for things, but not pushing too hard? I think some of these become ironic processes that sometimes lead us off track more than they lead us on track. Can you help me sort that out a little bit?
Well, I think, it's all about the intention that you set for your meditation. So if you wanted to meditate every day, I meditate every day, and, I meditate, to really set my intention to, be focused and disciplined and, really think positively, keep my vibration high, things like that. And so, the person who's striving just for spiritual enlightenment or just to be centered and, and living a life of, just, I don't know, just pure bliss or whatever it is. I mean, then that's their intention. So I think you could set your intention if you're doing your meditation for just wanting to be playful and wanting to have fun. You can absolutely. And I look at it, I mean, when I'm doing any kind of subconscious work, meditation, be it meditation or hypnosis, to me, it's all about the visualization, generating the feeling and impressing that feeling on the subconscious mind. So what state you want to feel, you have to kind of like, I think you have to visualize yourself in those playful moments or whatever it is that you want to be, and put your put your focus on that image, and then allow that image to help you to feel more of that. And the more you feel that when you are in a relaxed state in hypnosis or in meditation, the more you're going to feel that throughout the day. And so it's really, to me, it's all about setting your intention.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot. Now I want to switch back to your career a little bit, because you seem to be very prolific, definitely with the recordings and the videos now on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to her there, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. Just do it right now. But with your books as well, how many books have you written, and what is that process like? When did you decide that you had more to say than just one medium?
Yeah. So right now, professionally speaking, I have 4 books. I have some other books that are sort of like behind the scenes that need to get rewritten, that I've written in the past. They haven't really been published, but 4 that are actually legit on Amazon.
Awesome.
And this has pretty much been about a book a year since the first one that I released in 2018, which was Practical Law of Attraction. And so what kind of what happened is, I've been learning and studying about law of attraction. I mean, pretty much since I was like 18. I literally just popped open a book called Total Self-Confidence. That was my first self-help book that I ever read. And in there, he talked about the law of attraction. And I forgot, when you read books and sometimes you forget that they talk about certain things. Anyway, I forgot that was like really, I think the first time I ever heard of the law of attraction is when I read that book, Total Self-Confidence, in like 1987, when I was 18. And anyway, fast forward to 5 years or so ago, I was asked to do a certification training at a seminar on law of attraction because just in my among all my hypnotist friends, and it's about 1,000 of us or so that are all friends, maybe 2,000.
Wow.
I don't know. Among these people, my husband always gets on me. Yes.
I don't know.
Anyway, I was asked to do the certification training because I've become kind of known as the law of attraction person and the go-to person for law of attraction. So she wanted me to do this training, and I didn't have a curriculum. I'm always just talking about it, talking about it on my YouTube channel, talking about it on my podcast, talking about it on Facebook Lives, but I didn't really have a organized like flow of information that I could stand in front of a room for 4 days and teach. And a lot of people had been saying, you need to write a book, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And so these 2 ideas sort of smashed together all at the same time. I'm like, well, I guess it's time to write that book. So literally, from the moment that happened, it probably took me maybe 9 months to just get all my thoughts into that book and get it edited and get it published. And during the process of writing that book, though, it was like this whole manifestation process in and of itself, because I said, you know what? I'm writing a book about law of attraction. So I need to do something a little special here. I need to do some manifesting in this book. And so a couple of things. Number one, I said I'm going to be a number 1 best-selling author with this book, from day one. And so that happened. And the other number 2 was I had some people in mind that I wanted to write the foreword and write some endorsements for my book. So at the time, I somewhat kind of had a relationship with Bob Doyle, but not so much, but Bob Doyle from The Secret, Joe Vitale from The Secret, and all the, so, I didn't know if they would, and I just kind of started at, people that with the most comfortable person and worked my way up. And, and I got all of those people. Like, I didn't even have a connection necessarily with Joe Vitale, but he just sort of appeared to me one day on Facebook Live, which I never, ever have seen him on Facebook Live ever. But like the week before, when I got Bob Doyle to do it, I said, you know what, next week I'm getting Joe Vitale. And he appears one day on Facebook Live, and I texted to him. I'm like, hey, I want you to write an endorsement for my book. And he's like, okay, well, reach out to me here. And so he did it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool, and there's lots of little tales like that, but it was pretty cool. And the book, I never ever even imagined that I would be an author, that I would have any kind of like commitment or discipline to stick to writing a book and organizing it. I mean, it takes a lot to like really write a book like that. And, to write it from scratch, write it from your heart, like your own book and your own system. And the book is actually, it always, it's mind boggling when I hear people say, yeah, I'm reading the book for like the fourth time. And it's like, it makes me feel like, wow, people do that with Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's where you mentioned, Think and Grow Rich, and The Secret is really where a lot of this started. But it's awesome that you can take it into practical applications and stuff there with your books and different techniques to help make it happen. Because it is something interesting. I was going to share one quick side note for you because it's funny, and you can share it with your clients if you'd like. But I put on my vision board, get a book deal, and was making that part of my visualizations and manifestations. And turns out you need to be a little bit more specific. I got a book deal, but and my book was picked up by LinkedIn and Sandler Training, a national training company, and has over 80,000 downloads. It's still one of our most popular books, but I got no money, and my name is not on the book because I gave it to two large international organizations. So be more specific.
You do have
with
to be
your
specific.
intentions.
Yeah,
because the book deal was great, but definitely having money or credit would have been a little bit nicer on that too. But I got lots of other things out of it that I got paid in other ways than that. So it was a great.
And that's the thing when it comes to a book, like that's all I was really hoping to get out of it was the credibility of just, and just to have my own system and my own curriculum. That was my whole thing. It's like, oh, I'll be able to maybe get some speaking engagements. I'll be able to go on podcasts, But I never even thought like, oh, this would actually become an important part of my my income. And so that's kind of cool too.
Now, I wanted to ask you one last question here about play, because I feel like you're like me, that a lot of what we do for work is play. What do you do just for fun that has like no monetary things to it with your husband or whatever? What do you enjoy doing? Travel or anything? What's your thing?
Well, first, yes, I absolutely love to travel. I miss it dearly because I haven't. Well, I mean, we just actually came back from West Virginia. It was snowing there, so that was an interesting. But I love traveling, and when I'm at home though, and we're not traveling, I love hiking, and I live in this gorgeous neighborhood now with hiking trails like all around me. And so I literally just walk down the street and get on a trail and go up a mountain. And that is seriously, it's my favorite, probably one of my most favorite things to do in the world. I still love to sing. So occasionally we'll go out and we do karaoke, and that's just another thing. And yoga, reading.
What's on your bucket list? Do you still have the concert dream, or what's one thing left on your visualization board that's a big playful goal of yours?
I would say, there's so many things that are, we were literally just talking about taking a road trip across the United States. That would,
fun.
Like a year long, visit all the places and, maybe do one significant thing, in each of the 50 states, like, take a yoga or meditation class in all 50 states, or, hike in all 50 states, or just do something like that. That would definitely be I would love to release my own album when I think about it, and it's always like a little too late when it gets to be Christmas time, but sometimes I think about making my own little Christmas album for my clients.
That's awesome. That would be so cool. And I think it's sort of like the book deal and all the other stuff you've done. I'm sure if you just did it, you could make it happen and start manifesting the support you need to get that done if you got rolling on it. So I encourage you to do that. That'd be super fun. But now it's time to play a game. Do you want to play?
Sure. I love games.
All right. We're spinning our wheel of games. There's 10 games on here that it could land on. And you got survey says it's pretty easy. We asked 100 people a question. The top answers here are on my card. Name a reason you might make your spouse get out of bed in the middle of the night.
Sex.
That's not on the list. But hey, I'll take it. That's a great answer.
Right?
Checking noise. They're snoring. Attend to a baby. They feel sick, or you feel sick, or to get a glass of water was on the top list.
The snoring one is actually more true.
More often. I mean, I like your answer. During a power failure, name something you can still turn on.
The water.
All right. See, spouse was on here this time. But flashlight was the number one answer. Flashlight, radio, and stove or an oven, also going with the water faucet. Number 3. Okay. Now you said you play with your husband, so I wanted to get you questions about your husband that you could ask him later. Okay. Name something that cats and men have in common.
They're soft.
We'll take it. Yeah. So they like petting and they have hair and whiskers. So those are both on there. I'll give it to you. They can be finicky or stubborn, sneaky, lazy, or the number one answer was they love sleeping. You
would think that as often as we play this show on TV, I mean, you should see us. I mean, we're hilarious. We are hilarious when we watch the show. I've like literally thought about videotaping this, and I am sucking at this so bad right now.
Well, I host game shows, you know, if we can put on a virtual game show for your family anytime, or I do live ones too here in Kansas City, which are super fun, where people can come out and actually see how good you would be on the Feud or the Wheel or with the pricing games. It's been a blast during the pandemic to do and stuff, but I appreciate you playing with us. Since you got 2 out of 3 on the cards, you win. I'll give you a free 30-second commercial here. Anything you have going on, but I'll give them the easy ones. You can find Victoria at victoriamgallagher.com, link in the show notes. You can find HypnoCloud apps at hypnocloudapps.com, over 500 powerful hypnosis sessions. Anything else you would like our help in manifesting in your life, Victoria?
I would love more subscribers in my HypnoCloud app. I would love more subscribers to my YouTube channel, and and people to check out all my books on Amazon.
I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show. Once again, this is Playful Humans. You can find us at playfulhumans.com. That's pretty easy. There's a playfulness quiz you can take, find out your playful personality. You can join the community of other adults rediscovering the power of play. And don't forget, you can subscribe to this podcast, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening to it right now might be a good spot. And then shoot me a note. Let me know who I should have on as a guest. Any questions you have or comments about the show, I'd love to hear it. We'll see you next time.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Go play, everybody.